It's that day again, that day where we leave for the airport to go back to my apartment in Galway. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, because it was just a lot of information to pass around to everybody. But I actually already attempted to go back once, and this is attempt number 2. Ireland had placed some new rules and regulations for COVID, and the first time I tried to go back, they, just a couple days before, they said they needed a COVID test taken and results received within 72 hours. And so I had scheduled with my doctor to be able to do that, and there was a misunderstanding somewhere, and the test that I took was both an antigen and a PCR test, and the antigen they're not accepting at airports to get into countries. Like, it needs to be a PCR, and I thought I made it clear that I needed a PCR, and so they gave me both. And the antigen got back in 24 hours, but the PCR, they're like, oh, it might be like a week, and I'm like, but y'all said you could do this for me. They meant the antigen and I meant the PCR, so it was a misunderstanding. So it ended up in this fun little story of me like being stranded at the Newark airport for, a night. Some of you knew when I got back, I told you, and some of you guys, you don't know. This was towards the latter end of January that this happened. But I did film once I found out I would be stuck in the airport because I thought that would make interesting content. Don't really know if it is or not, but I saved it for you guys anyway. So I'm gonna insert my first attempt here, and then we're gonna get on to today, where I am making my second attempt and hopefully final attempt, because I was able to achieve a PCR test taken and results received within 72 hours. And when I arrive in Dublin, the results will still be within 72 hours. It's very hard in America to get that, I think, unless you live in a city. If you live in a city, the world is your oyster. If you live in the middle of nowhere, as I do, we had to drive to Pittsburgh to get this test just so that it could be within so many hours. Had to do what I had to do to get back. Most situations I would say, oh, that's fine, I'll stay home because it's COVID anyway and I really shouldn't be traveling, and things like that. But I do live there now. I have all my apartments up there. I'm paying rent there. School starts soon, and I have to get back and get my life sorted together. So I'll insert my first attempt here, and then we're gonna move on to today, where I should be all set and ready to go. And hopefully by the end of this 24-hour journey, I will be at my apartment in Galway relaxing. Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a while. I was not planning to make a video because I thought it would just be a quick day of traveling, but I was trying to get back to Dublin. The government now requires in Ireland for you to take and get the results for a COVID-19 test within 72 hours. And I thought I got my test results, but they would not accept them at the gate because it was the wrong type of test results. It was an antigen test and not the PCR test. So I'm in Newark right now in a hotel they set me up at. And yeah, it was very, very stressful. I mean, to get turned away from a flight was not what I was expecting. I kind of knew inside my soul that something was going to go wrong. So I'm very disappointed because that means I have to go back to the drawing board on figuring out how to get back to my place in Galway. Because it is very hard to obtain a 72-hour test and result. Because in the meantime, you have to already be doing your flight, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a 13-hour flight, you don't really have 72 hours. You have like 48 hours, maybe, and you have to hope that you get the test results. Currently, the antigen test is the only one that gets back to within like 24 hours, or else you have to find a place that does a rapid PCR, which I live in a very rural area and it has been very difficult. And the one I went to, they said it was a rapid PCR, and it wasn't. It was an antigen and a PCR. Not the same thing. So that's where I got screwed on my results. But I understand why they have to turn me away. It's just very disappointing. And it was very scary because I got turned away from my flight when they went and asked everyone for their documents. I didn't have the right ones. So I had to go to customer service, which was super nice. And they set me up in the hotel here that I'm at in Newark. So that was nice. Just not what I was hoping, because the closest in time flight I can get to go back to Pittsburgh is at like 6 tomorrow. So you know what that means. That means I'm going to be taking you guys on a little film journey, I'd like to call it, through the Newark airport, because I got 6 hours to kill tomorrow from checkout time. And if this is gonna happen, I'm gonna make it fun. But besides that, it has been a very long day. And then of course, like, I had to get my baggage. I had to salvage my baggage because Mr. P was in my checked baggage for once. I was very shocked. I was like, oh, I can't lose you, Mr. Piggy. You're my sanity. The thread that holds my meek mentality together. So I was glad to get my baggage back. Now I have to recheck in tomorrow and all that fun stuff. And there was supposed to be like a metro, like to pick me up to bring me to the hotel. Didn't happen. The metro was down and I had to take a bus, and that was very confusing. I just feel like in general, like, you just don't know what you're doing in life, you know? Things like this happen. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown when I get to that hotel. And somehow I didn't. I just cried just little tears. And then I was done. And I was like, you know what? All I can do is go home and try again, like, next week, to somehow find a place that can do the PCR test the way it needs to be done, and hope we can figure this out. But in the meantime, I am relaxing the best way I know how, and that is watching Nick Jr. Previously, Peppa Pig was on, and I'm disappointed that Team Umizoomi is on now. I'm definitely a Peppa Pig person. I know that I'm 23 years old, but Peppa Pig is like my guilty pleasure cartoon. Like, it's a funny show. Like, it's one of those shows that, like, it's for the kids, but it's also for the parents. So, like, I enjoy it. I think it's funny. But either way, I'm just trying to relax now, and tomorrow we will see what we can do at the airport to keep ourselves busy. So I will see you guys then. Good morning, everyone. It's like 9 something, and I'm watching Blue's Clues because I can. But today's the day. We're gonna see what we can do in the airport and hopefully be home by the end of the day. But this is the view out my window this morning. Not so fascinating. Could be worse. So let's get this day started. Okay guys, as you can tell by the cacophony of announcements, I am at the airport. There was still issues with my ticket that made me delay. I had to get my bag checked in and go through security, so it was a long time coming to get here. It's like 2 o'clock now, and I think I'm going to get some lunch. I talked to my mom and some of my friends, give an update. And I think now I'm going to do some exploring so that I can get some food and hopefully use these meal vouchers that they gave me. So I am back at my seat. I went to the food bazaar to get something to eat, and I got a Philly cheesesteak with onions and provolone cheese. I know, I'm a real fancy gal, I am, but I really just craving a sandwich of some sort, and then I figure I'll get a coffee or something and a small snack before my flight, which leaves at like 5:50ish. So because of COVID, it's definitely not super busy, but it's definitely busier than Pittsburgh, so there's that. So I'm just going to eat my lunch/dinner, late lunch, and then I'm going to FaceTime some friends and catch them up on all this crazy drama. Actually pretty good. Well, I'm done eating now, so I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm probably going to FaceTime a couple of my friends and let them know kind of like what happened. And then I'm probably going to get some Starbucks because the struggle is real. I'm still very tired. I slept good at the hotel, but
I'm not used to sleeping with the TV on, and I kept the TV on for company kind of thing, and the sleep kept getting interrupted by Peppa Pig, which no complaints, just a very strange experience. So I could use a good solid sleep though tonight. I'll be excited to see my mom and my family, of course. I'll just be ready to not be in an airport by then. Okay guys, my gate changed, so that means I gotta change where I'm sitting, so that's the next adventure. Okay, so we're at the new gate. I only have probably like, I think an hour before boarding, so not too bad. All that's really left to do is I think just chill out for a little bit, go to the bathroom, maybe get something to drink, and I'll be all set to be heading back home. But here's what my terminal looks like.
Okay, so back to today, where I'm going to be leaving in about half an hour to head to the Pittsburgh airport. I got my stuff all packed. Finally have it under a reasonable weight. And, you know, we're just gonna take the day as it comes. Last night, as always, I was not mentally ready for today. As of today, I kind of have to be. So, pitter patter.
Okay guys, I made it to the Pittsburgh airport. My flight leaves in about 20 minutes, and it's pretty dead here, which is good. The lady at the counter mentioned that my next flight might be taking off late because they're switching out planes or something, so I'm gonna have to get on my Flight View app that my friend Olivia recommended, and I love that app so much, to see what's going on. And then I will catch you guys up, but for right now I gotta get to my gate and hopefully relax for a second.
the hair. But I've never been so tired in my life. I've just spent 26 plus hours awake. Well, now at this point, awake. I don't even want to think about it, but my whole like flight day to get here was 26 hours. As you can see in Newark, I didn't film as much because I thought you guys had already seen probably most of the airport from the previous footage, but also I actually made like a layover buddy and we sat and talked about our lives and we became good friends. So that was super cool. Every now and again, it's nice to have something to pass the time and someone to talk to, so I really appreciated that. But now I am home, I'm unpacked, and I have a big to-do list because class starts tomorrow. So I'm trying to stay up to fight the jet. That's pretty much all I can do at this point. But the good news is while I was gone, I got my LEAP card in the mail for riding the bus. So that is going to be my next major accomplishment, is activating that. Thank you guys for hanging out today and following me as I return to Ireland. Second time's the charm. And yeah, let's hope for a productive week because I'm gonna need it. This semester is hitting the ground and gotta start thinking about my dissertation, so that's exciting. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye!